3 years ago, I had what everyone considered the dream job. I was a software engineering intern at Microsoft making $52 an hour with a guaranteed $162,000 a year return offer that would set me up for life. My TikToks about how I landed the Microsoft internship were going viral and everyone kept telling me how lucky I was. But here's the thing. I was absolutely miserable. I'd wake up every morning exhausted, dreading the workday, and my mental and physical health started falling apart. I was so stressed that I stopped working out. I couldn't sleep and I felt like I was dying inside. Fast forward to today, I make over $100,000 a month online. I wake up excited about my work and I'm doing what I actually love. Building businesses, creating content, and helping others achieve financial freedom. Here's exactly why I turned down Microsoft's return offer and the 3 lessons I learned that changed everything. Let me paint you the picture. It's summer 2021. I'm working as a full software engineering intern at Microsoft. On paper, everything looked perfect. I had interned there twice, summer 2020 and 2021, and had that golden return offer that every computer science student dreams of. But here's the brutal truth. I only chose computer science because I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. First year at the University of Virginia, I was decent at intro computer science compared to my classmates, and it paid the most out of any engineering major. That was literally my decision-making process. I remember sitting in my dorm room, looking at all the different engineering majors and thinking, well, computer science pays the most and I'm not terrible at it. So I guess that's what I'll do. No passion, no calling, just pure financial logic. And that decision would haunt me for years. Every single day at Microsoft felt like torture. Don't get me wrong, Microsoft is an incredible company with amazing people. This isn't a diss on them at all. For someone who genuinely loves coding and computer science, it would be the perfect job. But that wasn't me. Because of COVID, both my Microsoft internships, summer 2020 and summer 2021, were remote. But I was living back home in Virginia while Microsoft was on Pacific time. So I had to work 9 to 5 p.m. Pacific time, which meant 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time for me. At noon, I'd go down to my parents' basement into this room with no sunlight and grind away on code for Microsoft projects I couldn't even talk about because of NDAs. Picture this, I'm 21 years old, sitting in a dark basement room for 8 hours a day, staring at code, just counting down the minutes until 8 p.m. when I could finally log off. The work itself was challenging, I'll give Microsoft that, but challenging in a way that drained me, not energized me. I was always exhausted, always stressed, and my manager wasn't really supportive of my progress. The expectations were crushing me and I felt like I was drowning, but here's what really got to me. I felt completely out of place. Everyone around me was the classic computer science type, a little more introverted, reserved, focused on the technical work. They get excited talking about algorithms and data structures, and I just sit there thinking, when can I log off? And there I was, this charismatic, energetic guy who just wanted to talk, create content, and build something with my voice and personality. I was trying to fit into this mold that wasn't made for me, stuck in a basement with no natural light. The breaking point came during my second internship in summer 2021. My mental health started deteriorating. I stopped working out, which was something I always loved. I couldn't sleep properly because I was constantly stressed about work. I'd wake up in the middle of the night thinking about bugs in my code or deadlines I had to meet. Meanwhile, during my free morning hours, from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m., I was creating content about my Microsoft experience. I was posting clips on TikTok and my podcast about how I got into Microsoft called the Internship Hunt Podcast and going viral. And I genuinely enjoyed the content creation and business building more than the actual work I was doing at Microsoft. I'd spend those morning hours working on my podcast, creating TikToks, and building my personal brand around my journey. That content creation and entrepreneurial work gave me more energy and fulfillment than 8 hours in that basement ever did. That's when it hit me. I was in the wrong game entirely. Comment relate below if you ever felt trapped in a job that looked perfect on paper, but made you miserable inside. The breaking point came when I had to decide whether to accept that return offer. This wasn't just any offer. This was Microsoft, the company that every computer science student dreams of working for. The offer was $162,000 per year. The benefits were incredible and the career trajectory was clear. Everyone expected me to take it. My parents were so proud when I first got to internship. They'd tell their friends, our son works at Microsoft. My friends were jealous. My professors used me as an example of success. Society had basically told me I made it. But I looked at my life and realized something crazy. I was already making way more money with my online business than I would at Microsoft. More importantly, I was passionate about what I was doing. I loved building businesses, creating content, teaching others how to achieve success. That's what made me come alive. I remember the exact moment I made the decision. I was still in my parents' basement at the time, in that room with no sunlight, staring at the return offer email, and I thought to myself, do I really want to do this for the next 20 to 30 years of my life before I retire? The answer was a hard no. But it wasn't just about the money or even the work itself. It was about who I was becoming. At Microsoft, I was trying to be someone I wasn't. I was suppressing my natural personality, my communication skills, my creativity, all the things that made me Me. This is exactly what I call the passion profit alignment test, when your natural interests start making more money than your safe job. That's the universe telling you something important. It's a sign that you're on the right path, even if everyone else thinks you're crazy. Now let me break down what I call the corporate exit framework. The 3 biggest lessons that came from this experience. These are the insights that not only helped me make the decision to leave Microsoft, but continue to guide how I approach business and life today. Lesson number 1 of 3, your job should energize you, not drain you. At Microsoft, I was constantly asking myself, when is this workday gonna be over? I'd check the clock every 30 minutes, hoping somehow it would magically be 8 p.m. That's not normal. That's not how you should feel about something you're spending 40 plus hours a week doing. I realized that work doesn't have to feel like work when you're doing something you love. Now with my business, I wake up excited. I love creating content. I love helping people build their online business. I love the impact I'm making. There are days I work 12 hours and it feels like 3 because I'm so engaged. When you find work that aligns with who you are, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like play. It feels like purpose. And that's when you know you're in the right place. But here's the thing most people don't realize. This isn't just about following your passion. It's about understanding your natural energy patterns. What activities give you energy versus what drains you. For me, coding drained me. Creating content energized me. That was all the information I needed. Lesson number 2 of 3, don't let other people's definition of success become your prison. Everyone told me Microsoft was the safe choice, the smart choice, but safe for who? Smart according to whom? I realized that following someone else's path to success is actually the riskiest thing you could do because you're guaranteed to be miserable. The real risk isn't failing at something you love, it's succeeding at something you hate. This is what I call the success trap, when you achieve what everyone else wants for you, but it makes you miserable inside. You look successful on the outside, but you're dying on the inside. Society has this very narrow definition of success. Get good grades, go to a good college, get a good job at a good company, work for 30 years, then retire. But what if that path isn't right for you? What if your version of success looks completely different? For me, success isn't just about money. It's about freedom, impact, and alignment. It's about waking up excited about my day. It's about building something that's mine. It's about using my natural gifts to help other people. That's my definition of success. And it took me walking away from Microsoft to realize that. Lesson number 3 of 3, your unique advantage is being yourself, not fitting a mold. At Microsoft, I was trying to be the quiet technical engineer. I was suppressing my natural personality because I thought that's what was expected of me in that environment. But my superpower is being the charismatic speaker, the guy with energy whose ideas can influence people through words. When I started focusing on business building and content creation using my natural communication skills, I wasn't fighting against my nature anymore. I was leveraging it. Here's what I learned. Your biggest competitive advantage isn't trying to be like everyone else in your industry. It's being authentically you. The market rewards authenticity and uniqueness, not conformity. In the online business world, there are thousands of people teaching marketing and business, but there's only one person who could teach it the way I do, with my perspective, my story, my personality. And that's what makes me irreplaceable. The same is true for you. Whatever field you're in, whatever you want to do, your unique combination of skills, experiences, and personality is your competitive advantage. Don't hide it, leverage it. Within months of turning down Microsoft, my online business exploded. I went from making good money to making 6 figures a month, but more importantly, I found my purpose. Let me give you some specific numbers. In my first month after leaving Microsoft, I made $10,000. By month 3, I was at $35,000. By 1 year, I hit my first $100,000 a month. And now consistently, I'm making over $100,000 per month. But the money was just the beginning. The real transformation was in how I felt about my life. I went from dreading Mondays to being excited about every single day. I have complete control over my schedule. I work with clients I actually like. I'm building something that's mine. I'm now helping hundreds of entrepreneurs escape the 9-to-5 trap and build businesses that give them both financial freedom and time freedom. I wake up every day knowing I'm making a real impact, not just working on some feature that might get used by a few people and then forgotten about. And here's the crazy part. All those skills I learned at Microsoft about productivity, team management, and building systems, they translated perfectly to entrepreneurship. Nothing was wasted. The product management skills I learned helped me structure my business operations. The problem-solving mindset helped me figure out solutions for my clients. The ability to work under pressure helped me handle the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. Even the technical background gave me credibility when I started teaching about AI and automation. Now, the specific business model that gave me the confidence to walk away from Microsoft was what I call AI messaging. And this is something I've been teaching extensively because it's literally the future of how businesses communicate with customers. Here's how it works. Businesses desperately need help reaching out to potential customers, but most of them are terrible at it. They don't know what to say, when to say it, or how to follow up. That's where AI messaging comes in. You sell AI-powered messaging services to businesses for $1,500 to $10,000 per month recurring. Businesses pay you to have AI systems that do all their customer outreach for them. But here's the game changer. You use AI to find and close these clients. Then you have expert service providers set up and manage the AI messaging systems for your clients. You literally just collect the cash while AI finds the clients and service providers do all the technical work. The beauty of this model is that it leverages everything I learned about systems and automation from my engineering background, but applies it to something that I'm actually passionate about, helping businesses grow through better communication. Think about what's happened in the last few years. Businesses have been forced to move online to survive, but most of them are terrible at reaching out to potential customers. Your local gym needs to message potential members. Real estate agents need to reach out to home buyers and sellers. E-commerce brands need to follow up with abandoned cart customers. They all need AI messaging, and they're willing to pay top dollar for it. This business model checked all the boxes for me. It was beginner friendly because I didn't need years of experience. It had massive demand with not enough supply. It took advantage of the AI revolution that's happening right now, and most importantly, it allowed me to use my natural communication and sales skills instead of fighting against them. By the way, if you want to learn more about this exact AI messaging business model and how you could get started even as a complete beginner, I put together a free training that breaks down everything step by step. Just check the link in my description below. But beyond the practical lessons, there was a deeper mindset shift that happened. I stopped seeing my career as something that happened to me and started seeing it as something I could create. At Microsoft, I felt like I was on a conveyor belt. Go to work, do your tasks, get your paycheck, repeat. I had no control over what I worked on, who I worked with, or how I spent my time. I was just a cog in a machine. But with entrepreneurship, I became the architect of my own life. I decide what projects to work on. I choose who I want to work with. I set my own schedule. I determine my own income. That level of control and freedom is addictive once you experience it. This shift from employee mindset to entrepreneurship mindset changed everything. Instead of asking what job should I get, I started asking what problems can I solve? Instead of how can I impress my boss, it became how can I serve my clients? Instead of how can I climb the corporate ladder, it became how can I build something meaningful? I'm not telling everyone to quit their jobs. If you love what you do, if it energizes you, if you're building towards something meaningful, stay and crush it. But if you're like I was, feeling dead inside, counting down the hours, knowing deep down that you're meant for something different, then maybe it's time to listen to that voice. The Microsoft experience taught me that there's a difference between a good job and the right job for you. It taught me that other people's approval isn't worth your happiness. And it taught me that sometimes the scariest decision is actually the safest one for your soul. 3 years ago, I was building someone else's dream, feeling exhausted and unfulfilled. Today, I'm building my own empire, helping others do the same and living life completely on my terms. The best part, I'm just getting started. Here's what I want you to understand. You don't have to choose between security and fulfillment. You don't have to sacrifice your happiness for a paycheck. You don't have to spend your life doing work that drains you just because society says it's the right thing to do. There are opportunities out there that can give you both financial freedom and personal fulfillment. You just have to be brave enough to pursue them. Now, if you're ready to discover the exact business model that allowed me to replace my Microsoft salary and build a 6-figure-a-month online business, you need to watch this video next. I break down the beginner-friendly system that's creating millionaires in the AI era. This is the same opportunity that gave me the confidence to walk away from Microsoft. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.